Welcome to the Wonky Gamer episode meh.
That's it. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to the Wonky Gamer podcast. I am Le Stef and here is Le Rammy.
Hello!
We only have two of us today, which is probably good because we don't know how to use the new Discord, but we do know how to use Skype.
Yeah, Discord doesn't work at all.
It doesn't. No. Apparently not so far. We're apparently slightly, handicapped in our ability to work out how to make it function.
It didn't work though, not even slightly. But why don't you tell them what episode this is, Steph?
It is, fuck knows. I don't know. What episode are we on? Where are my notes? There we go. We are on episode 37, Gambling Wars. The Lootbox strikes back.
It has been a very dark time for the rebellion.
It has indeed.
And it really has.
Many buttons died for this information. So, and as you might be able to notice, we're actually live streaming instead of talking on a podcast. So we're going to try this out.
A little different. We'll see how it works, and then hopefully also upload it to the YouTube site. Will that be the plan, Steph?
I think so. I mean, we're live streaming this on Twitch, but
yeah.
I know a way to rip our video off Twitch and put it onto YouTube, and I think you can do it anyway through Twitch. I don't know. We're kind of stupid at this at the moment, and we're both using like our microphone. Mine's a webcam microphone, and Rammy's is his laptop microphone. So before you start saying that our volume shit is shit or whatever, I 100% agree. It is bad. But hopefully the levels are good. Let me know if they're not. In the future, we'll hopefully get something slightly better sound-wise.
A proper microphone, maybe.
What was that?
A proper microphone might be a start.
It would be a good start. Like, I didn't really want to wear a headset either. I have got a headset, but the mic on that's a bit rubbish. And it's like on my head.
Yeah, I didn't want to wear a headset either, just because it really messes with my hair.
Same. Well, do you wear your headset on your beard? Like, you wear it upside down and you got...
Yeah, beard headset.
And you have like you could like stand upside down and like have your headset on your chin. Would that work?
Let's see.
Yeah, then if you turn your head round...
It's hard to get the microphone somewhere like near my mouth, though.
Yeah, it might be quite difficult.
And it does play havoc with my gorgeous locks.
You see, I'm very jealous because I cannot grow a beard. Can you say, like...
Well, I'm very jealous because I can't grow hair on the top of my head. So I'm overcompensating.
Well, no, because you can grow it one area and I can grow it another. So it's kind of even, I'd say.
So between us, we make an entire man.
Yeah. If we merge into one person, we'd actually be a full-on man. Instead of half man. Which is what we are. Never mind. What the hell are we talking about? Right. It says on my screen that you can all see. Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yay.
Yeah.
So, fuck. Where do we even start with this? This is like probably the worst.
It's just been terrible. It was bad news ever since they released the beta, wasn't it? And people got to have a look at the game and actually see what a complete rip-off
the thing is
the Lootbox system was.
The thing is with this, I wanted to cover this briefly, and we're going to try and cover it briefly, but I had to write down a fucking timeline of the mistakes that they made, just so I actually was able to explain how bad this has been. Where do we start? Open beta for Star Wars Battlefront 2. We all played it. Some people were more intelligent than me and Rammy and actually noticed that it was pay to win.
Yeah, I just enjoyed the shooting of stuff and, not trying to win. I know I'm not going to, so that doesn't really affect me, the whole win aspect of the game.
Well, I wasn't too bothered about winning. I was more like, oh, look at these shiny Star Wars things. I'm in a X-wing and shooting stuff. This is cool.
It's amazing, yeah.
I mean, the space stuff is really good, right? Let's be kind. Like the combat in it's good. The space stuff's amazing. It's really good. Don't get me wrong.
Player was fun.
Yeah, I mean it's got the makings of a great game. Like compared to Battlefield 1, Battlefront 1
bounds ahead.
Yeah, it's there's so much more content, all of that. So let's be nice about some of it, I suppose. But that's all the love EA is going to get off me for that, because actually the reality is, so there was the open beta. Everyone realised it was pay to win, so you were having to. The whole progression system is tied into loot boxes, where the only way to progress in the game is to play a certain amount. You get a free loot box, and then you get these star card things out of it. That you kind of upgrade your abilities and do all sorts of weird shit.
The thing is, a level 5 star card, when compared to a level 1 star card, the difference is just massive, isn't it? It's completely game breaking. So
the worst example, I should not smoke when I'm trying to talk. The worst example was, I think it was an ability that Boba Fett had, which is with his jetpacks. And what he does is he flies up in the air and does some kind of like barrage of shooting down on everyone, rain of death or something. And anyway, death from above, it's called. That's what it's called. So, and what happens is when you do it like with basic star cards, I think you have 50% damage reduction. When you have the level 5 one, you have 100% damage reduction, I think it is. So you're essentially invulnerable for 5 to 10 seconds.
Yeah, for ages. Raining death everywhere. Totally broken.
So the obvious problem with this, right? I mean, okay, if you progress through a system where you kind of earned it over time, that's kind of cool, and you can do that. But when someone can go, well, do you know what? I'm minted. I'm going to buy 1 million loot boxes and just shit in your face. Then the element of the multiplayer being competitive and fair goes out the window. So there's no point playing the multiplayer if you're not going to spend money, because you're just going to get completely shit on. And EA do a great job of when you die, they show a kill cam and show you all the cards that the enemy guy has. So you can go, oh, you cock. I need to buy them now. I'm going to invest some money so I can beat him with the same weapons.
Actually have a chance of lasting more than 4 seconds on this game.
Exactly. So what else have we got? So that was the first one. People sort of shit hit the fan. People got upset. EA kind of responded. They changed a couple of little things. I think they got the level 5 star cards. They like took them out, and you could only earn them through playing the game or something like that. And anyway, they thought they'd like damage controlled it. However, when early access came out, it was discovered that actually heroes cost 60,000 credits, which in real terms means 40 hours of gameplay to earn one hero.
One hero.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it is, and it got it upset a lot of people, a hell of a lot of people, unsurprisingly.
Yeah, but at least they're giving the game away for free, aren't they?
Yeah, if the game was free to play, it would kind of be okay, right? I mean, it's not great, but you could kind of think, well, fair enough. I haven't paid 60 quid to 100 quid for a game, and it's just this, it's a joke. But the repercussions of this were everyone, so someone actually made a spreadsheet, figured it all out, and all that kind of stuff. And the repercussions were EA tried to kind of settle the ground with this Reddit post that we can see here. So the EA community team said, the intent is to provide players with a sense of pride and accomplishment for unlocking different heroes. As for cost... Oh, I know. Fucking up. Yeah, pride and accomplishment when some other fucker can go buy it. Okay.
Yeah.
What the fuck ever. As for costs, we select individual values based upon data from the open beta and other adjustments made to milestone rewards before launch. Among other things, we're looking at average per player credit earn rates on a daily basis, and we'll be making constant adjustments to ensure that players have challenges that are compelling, rewarding, and of course attainable via gameplay. Fucking twats. We appreciate
the lies.
You are.
The lies.
I know, and they sort of continue on. And anyway, the sort of incredibly amusing thing about this is that it was as you can see, I'll go back to it at the top, highlighted in the kind of red little circle. It says minus 300k points on Reddit, so it was downvoted 300k. Now actually, since then, it went up to, I think it was over 600,000 downvotes on Reddit. So
it's the most downvoted thing ever, isn't it?
It is, and I think the one before it was something like 27,000 or something, 35,000. I can't remember. So it was pretty bad. The repercussions of this meant that even the BBC was reporting on it.
Wow.
Which is kind of big news. It was going all around. So there was that. They then kind of, they changed it. So they reduced. What did they do? They reduced the price of heroes to 20,000 credits or 15,000 credits? And clever idea. Okay, yeah, we'll appease everyone. But what
meant to be 75% less, wasn't it? Roughly.
Yeah. So they made it 75% less. But what they did do sneakily is for the campaign, at the end of the campaign, originally you earned 20,000 credits to, and you can spend that on buying the hero from the main campaign.
Yeah.
Because they reduced the heroes by 75%, they then reduced the reward that you get from the campaign by 75%. So you only get 5k.
I know.
Credits. So
and even the BBC noticed that.
Oh, did they? God, even if BBC
pretty
noticed,
sure.
bloody hell.
Wasn't that what they were commenting on?
Probably.
But I mean, it's just sickening.
I mean, it's funny that they think they can get away with it, but what's hilarious is then what happens when people get wise to it and think this is still bullshit, EA. Stop fucking me up the ass with a large, sharp, pointy implement. Next, we start hearing in the media that the Belgium and Dutch governments are both investigating whether the current actions of EA in terms of Battlefront 2, as well as Overwatch, loot boxes, would be considered gambling, because a lot of the idea of loot box, when you look at them, are very, very similar to gambling. And actually, when you look at the types of people that are going to play the games, what's that?
It's blatantly scratch cards. Oh, I could win the really good thing I want. Oh, I didn't this time. I'll buy another.
Well, the thing is, it's aimed at, I mean, whether or not, I mean, Dad was saying to me, oh, well, it's 16 plus on Peggy, apparently, in stores in the UK, I think. From what I understand, the Belgian government or spokesperson for them said that it was actually 12 plus. So I think maybe in the rest of Europe it's lower, because they might have upped it for the UK because UK government investigated it as well previously.
Yeah, but whether it doesn't matter what the age rating is, in my opinion, even if it was an 18 age rating.
It's fucking Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, and the majority of people who are into Star Wars are kind of my generation. They're not 18.
Yeah.
They're older, and they are going to be sucked in by that kind of thing potentially. Or they'll want the best stuff and they'll want to play Star Wars, so it's totally wrong.
Well, it ties people's hands, because obviously they're going to make a lot of money off the Star Wars product, because there's so many people that love it. And, there will be a lot of younger kids under 16 that are playing it, because, it's a lot easier to get your parents to buy you computer games anyway, I would think, culturally, in the UK anyway, that are sort of 16 plus, because it's not highlighted in the same way that films are. And also, the reason it's rated that way is to do with the fact there's guns in it, I think. I mean, it's not bloody or anything like that. So if I was a parent, looked at the game, didn't know about the loot boxes or whatever, then I would potentially think, well, there isn't any blood. It's just a bit of shooting.
I mean, my son desperately wants to play it.
Yeah.
And I let him watch the Star Wars movies, so why I wouldn't let him play a Star Wars video game?
They're PG, aren't they, though, I think? I mean, I suppose maybe some of the prequels are a bit...
Star Wars used to be a U trailer.
Yeah, and the game doesn't have any more violence in it than
No,
the
but
films.
Star Wars, you actually see an alien's arm get cut off, and it's lying there, a bloody
Oh,
stuff,
that's true. Yeah, holy
and
shit.
that was a you. So, I mean, things have changed, and now they're slightly higher ratings, but you can still go and see them, like at Christmas, the new Star Wars movies. I do take the kids to, and they love it. And Nate, absolutely crazy about Star Wars, crazy about Lego, and he'll create his own little battles out of his Lego. So, of course, all he's done for the past, since Battlefront 2 got announced, is tell me about it and how much he desperately wants it.
Well, all the kids at school will be playing it. I mean, it's. I think that's the thing. I mean, and I think EA have a responsibility to not release a product like this. But anyway, what's quite hilarious is that since this whole thing with the Dutch and Belgian government, and there's also been a rumor that Bob Iger, who is like the fucking head of Disney, he's the bigwig. He's like the guy that like has managed to get the deal with Star Wars. He's the guy that knows Star Wars is a very important IP. He doesn't want the reputation of it ruined before the film coming out. The rumor is he spoke to the head of EA about the situation. Most probably because shitloads of people were hashtagging Disney on Twitter saying like hashtag Disney supports child gambling.
You can't. Oh,
seriously. So like,
if EA get another Star Wars license after this debacle, it'll be.
Fucking hope they don't. I hope they lose it. I hope I don't want EA doing Star Wars. Holy shit.
But I mean, the upshot of that is they have temporarily removed microtransactions while they rebalance the game and stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, is that just a pile of bollocks to basically make everyone go, oh, well, it's kind of fine. I'm going to buy the game because I wasn't going to buy it, but now I'll buy it because it's kind of like, well, they're going to change it and they're taking them offline, so they're not going to fuck me up the ass, right? I mean, they know it's a problem. They said they know it's a problem.
Spin doctrine.
I mean, I think the problem is people buy the game then because I think they've probably gone, shit, we've got hit to our sales because I think everyone hammered the refund button on Origins. And I think what will happen is a load of people end up buying it and then it will suddenly mysteriously appear when no one gives a shit about the game about a month or two's time. And then, we're in trouble. They'll start trying to rinse people again for money.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll last, a couple of weeks tops? Or at the very longest, until just after Christmas.
I do wonder, though, what Disney is saying to them, if they are saying anything at all, because they must be talking to them about it, because it's a big deal.
Disney's super pissed.
I think they are. Because they are messing with, quite a... Disney are very careful over their licenses and really, look at how they've done the films. They've literally sacked a load of directors and redone all the films plenty of times for the Han Solo movie and
they're very careful with their IPs that they got hold of now. And I personally think they're doing a wonderful job with both Star Wars and the Marvel franchise.
I'd agree. I think certainly giving EA Star Wars rights, letting them do this, is a big fuck up that they need to do something about. Yeah. And I think they will. I'm hoping they will.
I get the feeling Disney will throw their weight around and not allow this because the number of rules and regulations that Disney have to keep their reputation as shiny as possible is crazy.
Yeah, and it is.
Staff at one of the theme parks, or whether you're an actor on one of the movies, you're literally contracted up to the eyeballs generally for you do not damage the brand. It's so important.
I think someone in chat who I know quite well, my friend Jake, may well post us the quote from EA CEO John Riccitello. I'm not sure if he's going to do it. We'll have to see. I'll bring that up.
All right.
If it appears.
If it comes up, then we can mention that.
He's actually a streamer. You should check him out. It's called Worthless Emu. He's going to be starting to stream very, very regularly quite soon. All sorts of games, and and lots of different things. I think I'm actually going to be doing a Divinity Original Sin 2 campaign with him and a couple of other friends on his stream, which the whole campaign is going to be like. The whole campaign is going to be. Sorry, Twitch chat's appearing and things are being said. The whole campaign, is being written by someone, and he's designed all the maps. A guy called Nick. He's really cool. I'm looking forward to it. We just had someone called Darren King say, "I love money, lol." Well, EA certainly do.
Yeah.
They love their investors very much so, and they're not that keen on their audience.
Yeah, but it does feel like a bit of so far. I think this is the start of what's going to be a bigger war, and we'll be discussing microtransactions and this kind of thing for years to come.
I'm bored of it, man. Every episode we do, it's all we talk about.
Hey, money talks, doesn't it? And it does work, unfortunately.
I don't know. I think the beauty of this situation is seeing the general public get pissed off and do something about it. Like, they must have voted with their wallets. They've got to have done. They must have taken some kind of hit as well. I mean, the fact governments are getting involved as well with their laws and that kind of thing's probably also applying a lot of pressure. But, the fact it's in the mainstream media is a really big deal. I mean, for a game, it's quite amazing, really. What else have we got? Oh, here we go.
That's the actual quote.
Fucking hell. Right, actual quote from my good friend Worthless Emu. So EA CEO John Riccatello said, "When you are 6 hours into playing Battlefield and you run out of ammo in your clip and we ask you for $1 to reload, you're really not very price sensitive at that point in time."
That's ridiculous. Totally insane.
I mean, it shows you sort of where their thinking is. I mean, the fact they're trying this whole thing at the moment where they do this in all of their posts, like on all these little issues where they kind of try and blag it and then they fail. They're always going, "Oh yeah, we're listening to you. Look at what we've done. Like, we're so great. We're doing this. We're listening to the fans." And it's like, you're not listening to the fans. You're putting a big pointy thing up our bums and saying, "Oh, it's fine." When everyone complains, you go, "Oh,
you won't feel it this time."
Yeah, we'll make it a little less pointy, but we're still going to shaft you really, really hard. It's gonna hurt, but it's worth it. The pain's worth it, right?
We promise we'll use lube this time.
Oh my god, I'm looking forward to South Park episode on this. It's going to be great.
Yeah, it's so going to happen. But it does feel like the rebellion or the gamers have like struck the first blow to the Empire, and got them to remove them. At least the fact they've removed them at all, even if it's only temporarily, I think's a massive win in the fight against this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact people got up in arms, and I think the Reddit thing's made a big deal. I think a lot of people complaining to their governments has made a big deal. I mean, it's
a video game, and people are going to the government. It's brilliant.
It is. I mean, it's a nice change from everyone having breakdowns about Donald Trump. I mean, much as I dislike the guy, people need to calm down a bit over that. But let's not get too political. Personally, I'm a bit more worried about what's happening in the Middle East and that kind of thing than I'm about Donald Trump. But that's another debate.
Let's not open that can of worms.
Yeah.
The news this week is already bad enough without
oh fuck. Okay, yeah.
Getting political.
Well, speaking of politics and moving into, well, this is political. Here we go. IGN excuses. So what this is all about? Oh god, this is such a negative video. Right,
it's really negative.
So basically, what this is all about is IGN.
The staff walked out on Monday.
Yeah. Basically, 2 of its female employees got sexually harassed by what was he called? I can't remember what the guy was called now. Vincent, a former editor, Vincent Genito.
Yeah, it looks like.
And basically, all the staff walked out on Monday this week in protest. And they said this. This is what they said to the gaming community. This was the IGN content team. It wasn't management.
Yeah, it's not management. It's not legal. It's literally the content team who are proud to work for IGN. And at this point, they just weren't, because this is two of their colleagues that they've got great respect for and have been put in a terrible situation.
Yeah.
So they thought they had to speak up about it.
So, I mean, they were saying, it's with great sadness, pain, and regret that we tell you that IGN has failed 2 of its female employees, 1 former and 1 current, both of whom the team cares deeply for. We are devastated that 2 of our own have had to live with and carry this pain for more than a year. When the women made management and human resources aware of the situation involving a now former employee, those women, in the estimation of the IGN team, did not get the respect and care that they deserved as IGN employees and as people. That system, plainly put, failed them. It especially failed them, but it also failed all of us. We can go on, but I mean, I think they're pretty sad.
It goes on like they're really disappointed the fact that this has happened, that they've been let down by the system and things in place to protect women. Or anyone in the workplace shouldn't have to experience this. And the fact that as soon as the staff found out, they literally walked out on Monday to show their support. And then, as I say, the content producers have come together and written that after they've all met. So
it's a shame, because actually, I normally rag on IGN, and I'll rag on them for this, right? Of course, it's fucking terrible. But I was gaining a little bit more faith in IGN because they were honestly reporting on loot boxes and bad practices recently. It's been quite interesting. I think they were hammering Shadows of War, and they've been hammering Star Wars. I kind of felt they're finally trying to do something better than just write fake reviews that they're paid for, which I'm not saying that they are, but I'm strongly suggesting that they do. I have no evidence.
In the past, hasn't it? It's definitely felt that way in the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's not provable, and actually it's unfair for me to say. It is unfair for me to say. But certainly their reviews are a bit flaky. Yeah, I would say that. We also have the excuses from the management, who said many of IGN's employees have voiced concerns about the company's workplace environment and how IGN leadership and HR handled the matter, referred to on Twitter on Friday. We are sorry that any employees, present or past, feel the company has not treated them with the respect they deserve. We take the feedback we have received seriously, and we are committed to ensuring that our reporting procedures for complaints of misconduct, harassment are carried out effectively, thoroughly and professionally. In light of recent complaints, we are enlisting assistance of an independent consultant to review. It is our goal to provide a working environment free from all forms of unlawful harassment, discrimination, and retaliation.
It's interesting, though, the fact that they are hiring an independent HR consultant to literally go over everything with a fine-tooth comb.
Well, that's actually really good.
Yeah.
Because if I'm being honest, a lot of it at the beginning sounds like them just, denying that anything's happened, really, in their sentence structure and what they're implying. We're sorry that any employees, present or past, feel the company has not treated them with the respect they deserve. It's kind of...
That's, I guess, legalese and has to be...
It is. Yeah, they've got to play safe.
But the fact they are getting an independent HR consultant in to go over everything, I think that's a really good step.
I think it is. I mean, much as I hate IGN, for various reasons, I can have a bit of respect for them for trying to deal with this issue. It's a shame it's taken them a year to actually address it, and a load of staff to walk out. But at least a lot of the staff.
Maybe the fact that the women who were involved in it have basically lived with it in silence.
Didn't they mention it in the #MeToo campaign or something? Is that how it? I think that's how it came about.
May have been, yeah. I'm not 100% sure, but I think literally it has only just come to light.
Oh.
Because certainly that's something else that has been in the news a lot as well recently. All the sexual harassment going on in Hollywood, basically.
God.
Yeah, so it's grim out there. Do we have any good news today, Steph? Please.
I just got one more bit of amusing news. I didn't take a picture of this, so it'll be a bit of an arse to put it on the screen. But just for a little giggle for Battlefront 2, on Metacritic, its user score on PS4 and PC is 0.8. On Xbox One, it is 0.3, I think, at the moment. So
what's that score out of?
10.
And
So that's
0.
I mean that's user score. What's interesting is like the average for reviews is around about 74. So I think games journalists do have to do a bit more on this as well. I think they have done a bit on it, but I think they do need to be harsher. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you can review a game like Battlefront 2 and say, is the combat good? Does it look good? Yeah, it does. Is it fun to play in terms of the combat and the mechanics and stuff? Is it good? Yes, it's good. But you've got to hard knock it when it's shafting people this way, when so many people are unhappy. You've got to start representing the people you're writing for, especially if they feel that it's unacceptable. I think you should be putting that into your scores, really.
Yeah. Well,
but I actually think IGN might have given them a 6, actually, which is, I think it was IGN, which is fair play to them, actually.
yeah. I mean, how many points should you lose for ripping people off with microtransactions?
Well, in my opinion, like, give them a 1 and tell them don't buy this game. It's bollocks. Ruining the game industry. Fucking
Yeah.
boycott that shit. Honestly, if you want to get that game, and you don't want to fund the evil machine that is EA, buy it second hand, because there are going to be so many people that are going to like dump it, and
Yeah.
you know that way you're not giving them any money, but you can play it, you know, and that kind of thing. That way you can kind of feel like you're doing the moral thing, but you can also go, yeah, fuck it, I can play the game. Because I know a lot of people will play the game, they want to play the game. It does look fun.
I don't have any choice but to buy the game.
Yeah. Get it
Because
second hand, Rammy.
my
Get it second
son
hand.
wants that for Christmas. I know it's maybe not. He isn't old enough to buy the rating, but I'm the parent here. I can buy the game. And
Is it not? I don't know how Peggy works. Is it not up to the? Is it not up to the discretion of the parent for Peggy? Yeah. I don't know.
And as I say, I don't see the problem when he watches the Star Wars movies with me. So.
Well, it's weird. It's got that rating supposedly for the violent side, as opposed to. I mean, the microtransactions have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, he's never spending a penny on it, so
yeah.
I don't need to worry about that side of things. But yeah.
We've got some good news for Xbox fans, so not for me. But if Ed was here, he'd be really happy and excited. So let's have a little look. The Xbox One X. Woo! A really stupid named console. It's a monster. So
they kept it Project Scorpio. As I say, the One X is just a ridiculous name.
The thing is, you get to a point, you're like, I just don't know. It's like it's not the first Xbox, so why is it called Xbox One? And then where's it got an X? I mean, there's too many X. There's 3 X's there. That's a lot of X's. It's almost trying to be a pornography. The graphics are so good you can watch 4K porn on this machine. But the thing about the Xbox One X that everyone's very excited about is that in its first 2 days it sold 80,000 units, which is more than the PS4 Pro has sold in all its time that it's been out. The PS4 Pro sold 50,000 units.
Wow. That's really quite impressive.
It is. I think the thing I find with the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro, though, is, I mean, how many people... I don't think 80,000 is a lot. I don't think 50,000 is a lot.
No, it's not.
Really?
No, they're not big numbers at all when you think in terms of like how many people you get playing games and stuff. Look at the kind of To put it into perspective, how many people regularly play Warcraft? It's what, 6-7 million, something like that.
Yeah, probably something like that.
So it's kind of a drop in the ocean, isn't it?
The thing is, as well, I mean, if you don't have a 4K TV, does it really look that good on a like 1080p monitor? I mean, I suppose it might be a bit faster. I don't know. I mean, personally, I just see it as it's a purchase for an enthusiast. It's a bit like me. I'm gonna get a Swish graphics card soon and a VR headset, and I'm gonna pour a load of money in it because I'm selling my old guitar and getting some money together to do it, and I'm really excited about it, whatever. But not everyone's gonna do that. Not everyone wants to spend that kind of money on something.
Hey, if I had that money lying around, I'd definitely buy one. But, well, I'd be less tempted to buy one now.
Oh, really?
I bet those 80,000 were all the day one edition Scorpios.
Yeah.
So one of those I want to buy. Just the ordinary Xbox One X without the Project Scorpio on it. No, I'm less enticed.
You just want the shiny box. So you don't give a fuck. Like you could just like you could maybe you should like go on Reddit and ask someone to create in a 3D printing machine the Xbox Scorpio box. And then you can put your Xbox
just place it over
One
my
inside it, yeah.
Yeah, done.
or you can like hide your Xbox One like underneath something, and then just have the One X Scorpio thing like in front of it. So
yeah, just knows. That on top. Can someone make me a special cabinet where my Xbox can sit underneath in a hidden panel with a fake Xbox One X on top, but Project Scorpio edition only? Because to be honest, God. I wouldn't notice the change in graphics. My eyes are that bad.
I've just heard that apparently Peggy, the way Peggy works, going back to that, all the rating systems work like that anyway. Parent discretion is allowed, so it's up to the parent.
Hooray, I'm not breaking the law
yeah, you're
today.
good. You're good, man. If they do call it gambling, if the UK ever call it gambling, you probably will be breaking the law because it'll be viewed as a criminal offence in terms of
no, not if kids... I'm not letting them gamble.
I suppose that's true. I suppose that's true. Yeah, okay.
They're not gambling.
You're right. Okay. It's a bit of that's a sneaky move, Rammy. But yeah, I think you're right. You may well get away with that. I'll have to ask my friend Nick. He's like a super lawyer.
Oh right.
These things. He'll have your back.
Yeah, you'll have to use a fake name for me, though.
It's a bit late. No.
I'm just asking for my friend, Tammy. Yeah, Tammy, who's a girl and definitely doesn't have a beard.
She's a female dwarf because female dwarfs have beards.
Yeah. Oh well. Never mind.
Excellent. Where are we going with this? So yeah, exciting times for the Xbox One X, I suppose. Personally, I don't give a shit.
I mean, if people are handing out free Xbox One X and PS4 Pros, I'll have them both.
Do you know what? I wouldn't take an Xbox One X because I've got a good PC. There's literally no reason for me to have one.
Now everything's on Windows 10?
Yeah, I love the whole Xbox exclusive. It's like, no, it's on PlayStation and it's on Windows 10. Like, it's not exclusive. Like, even if it's not on PlayStation 4, you can play it on a Windows computer with better graphics, more options. I don't even know where to start with this, but anyway, I'm going to stop bitching about it.
None of this PC Master Race stuff. We don't need that right now.
I'm not trying to be a master race, but PCs just are actually better than Xbox One X's, right? I mean, you've got to admit, like, technically...
I like the convenience of a console, though.
That's true. But you can plug a controller into a Windows PC.
Yeah, but I don't want to. I just want it plugged into my shiny telly and...
plug a PC into a shiny telly.
Yeah, but then I'd have to take it downstairs and plug it in, and no.
Yeah, if you got an Xbox One X, you'd have to pick it up from the door when the delivery man comes, unpack it, and then plug it in. So it'd be quicker to plug in a
No, if I
PC
could
that you
afford
got.
an Xbox One X, I'd send my butler to go and pick it up and like plug it in
I
and
see.
stuff.
Why don't you send your butler to go grab your PC and shove it downstairs? You could do that.
Because I can't afford any of that, so I'm not going to do any of them.
Ah, I see. There's a flaw in the plan. I
Yes.
see. Um, should we do reviews? We played stuff. We
Yeah,
played stuff this month. It was great.
yeah, games and stuff.
Let's start off with you playing Smite, Hand of the Gods. Woo!
Yeah.
Happy
Uh,
times.
it's a new sort of strategic, customizable card game
It's not
from the
like
people
we
who did Smite, the kind of MOBA style first
3D
person.
MOBA, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3D MOBA, and they also did Paladins. I recently found out when I went to Steam to look, and it is actually in beta at the moment. It's free to play, and you can earn like coins to spend and buy more boosters and get more cards, and it's a really fun little game. And unlike Hearthstone, I seem to have a bit of a knack for this Hand of the Gods.
Nice.
So you'll have a deck of 25 cards. They're based on one of the gods' pantheons. So whether it's like Egyptian gods, Greek gods, Norse gods, Indian, Chinese.
Are there loot boxes?
Yeah, there are loot boxes. But have I
How do they
spent
work?
any actual money on it? None whatsoever.
What kind of loot boxes? What do you get in them?
You get, I think it's either 5 or 6 random cards from the collection.
It's like Hearthstone, then I guess.
That
that
it
sense.
can include a rare. I've had boxes that have had like 4 out of the 6 cards have all been epic cards, and you can you can do up to 3 quests a day, I think, and they'll give you various different points of gold. And this gold, for 300 coins, you get 1 pack of cards.
So I actually switched off while you were talking about all this monetary business. But sorry, I'm
Yeah,
a bad person.
no,
Sorry, Roy.
it's
But
boring.
I mean, it's kind of
But the
it's
point
kind of
is, you get,
okay in a free to play game. It's like a card game because it's not.
and the thing is, you get enough starter cards
Do you
that you
earn cards by playing as well?
yeah.
Okay.
You, as I say, I've not spent a penny on it. I've earned all my cards from playing the game, and I've got some really good decks, and I'm doing all right, even in the ranked games
Oh,
against
sweet.
people that have probably played for ages.
Now you're in the
So
beta, man. You're going to be like shit hot because it's
no,
open beta, isn't it, at the moment? So like anyone can play
yeah,
it at the
yeah.
moment.
So you can download it on Xbox One. I've seen it on the Steam store as well. It's definitely worth checking out.
It's probably on. I guess it's on PS4. Maybe not. Depends if it's a Xbox exclusive or
I
still Windows
doubt it.
10. Well, that's cool. I mean, the MMO is quite popular as well. Not the MMO, the MOBA.
Yeah, yeah.
It wasn't really my thing, but you can only really play one MOBA, and that's about it, really. If you get really into a MOBA, you can't play more than one.
I did enjoy Smite on the Xbox, but again, because it was on console, and I found it easier to control than having to deal with a mouse and stuff, and
Yeah,
it appealed to someone of a lower skill level than you need for League.
I don't know. I don't know how much League is. I mean, yeah, okay, there is skill involved, but it's more like knowledge.
Yeah,
It's the same as stuff like Dota. I mean, if Jake in chat wants to mention anything about Dota, he plays a shitload of Dota and he's pretty good at it, from what I understand. And it's similar for him. I mean, you can't play 2 MOBAs because you have to learn loads of shit for one of them, and then you can't be asked to start from the beginning. It's hard work, and yeah. But I can understand with the controller because everyone's on the same playing field as you would be with a mouse and a keyboard. So it's all
exactly.
good.
It kind of levels the playing field, and I like that. But I mean, Smite, Hand of the Gods, you play your cards, and then it's also got a strategic battle element to it, as well as the card element.
Is it like Gwent in The Witcher?
No, because again, Gwent mainly focuses on the cards. In this, you've got an actual, basically, playing field. Your opponent's on the right or the left, and you're on the other side, and you play your creatures basically around a central tower on your side of the playing field.
Okay.
And the idea is to go and send all your monsters over and smash down their tower.
So you're playing the minions in a MOBA.
Well, it's turn-based.
What a head fuck! So the game is like playing a MOBA where you have to break a tower in the middle.
Yeah, well, you've got your tower on your side, and they've got theirs on their side that you need to protect with your creatures that you play, or your gods. And meanwhile, you also need to attack the one on the other side. And once the tower's destroyed, that's the game.
I quite like that. They've taken a bit from their MOBA and added a little bit of that into the game. That's quite clever, actually. I like that. That's pretty cool.
It is loads of fun, and as I say, the strategies with the where to move your stuff and how to attack. You get ranged attacks or close combat attacks, and then there are different effects. So learning the game, it's been a good laugh, and as I say, each pantheon of gods plays quite differently. So there's a lot of different options depending on what your play style is.
Well, I mean, and these are the cases where it's okay to have loot boxes because they don't fuck with you as much, and it's free to play. You know, I think when it's free to play, you can kind of get away with it. I mean, I prefer it to be cosmetic, but in card games, I mean, you've got Magic and stuff that's been around for years. There is that element.
And Hearthstone.
Hearthstone, very much so. Yeah.
I mean, the mechanic of the mana is very similar to Hearthstone.
Oh, really?
You get 1 extra mana a turn up to a total of 10 for playing your cards. There are spells and abilities, but then, unlike Hearthstone, it's got this extra layer on top where you've got this battlefield that you're then moving your minions around and fighting a battle.
I do like the sound of it. It actually sounds like a bit more unique than what you'd...
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, man. I reckon you'd enjoy it. So definitely, as I say, it is on the Steam store, so go check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I think I might do. Let's move on to Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, so I'm dying to hear all about this.
So I was bitching about the fact that I always get sucked into buying an Assassin's Creed game. Like every year.
You totally predicted this months ago. As soon as it was announced, it's like, I'm so sick of Assassin's Creed, but I'm blatantly going to buy it.
I know, it's like the potential is there again. The potential, it exists. It's there. Yeah. It could potentially be really good. It looks potentially really good. It has potential. It's fucking good. It's actually, they've done a good game.
Nice.
I think they might have. I don't know. I haven't really worked out how you. I think they might have stuff you can buy with money, but it's not intrusive. It's not really there.
Blatantly in your face.
No, I mean I haven't really looked into any of that. 'Cause I haven't needed to. But it's massive. It's certainly like taken some hints from Zelda Breath of the Wild in terms of like the size of the world. It's taken some ideas from The Witcher in terms of side quests are a lot more meaningful and have a bit more story. It's not as good as The Witcher 3 side quests, but they're trying quite hard to do something similar, which I have a lot of respect for. It's a hell of a lot better. You do collect shit, but it's not the same level as... You don't feel like... Cause I always found stuff like Black Flag, which I enjoyed a lot, but like... when you got hit a new map, you kind of felt a wave of depression because you're like, oh shit, I've hit this new map. There's all these items that I'm now going to have to collect even though I don't want to. Because I just have to collect them because they're on the map and I need my map all cleared. Because it's not nice, you know. I mean, it's the problem with Assassin's Creed, like the older ones, is if you have OCD about fucking maps and shit, then you're fucked, aren't you? Absolutely fucked.
One thing I want to know, is there any kind of future storyline in there? Or is it all in Egypt and they've kind of given up on the...
No, there is. I haven't explored it much. I think you have a bit of a choice of how much you get involved in it as well, which is kind of cool. That character's really unlikable, though. She's kind of really arrogant and a bit of a turd, really. I thought they'd make someone cool, but then they just made someone like really pretentious and just a cock. And like every time you see her, it's like she's so arrogant and so annoying. I really want to just go back and play this Egyptian guy who just kills people. You know.
I really love the concept of Assassin's Creed and just the concept of it with the future and the past, and it just feels they haven't got the balance right for the execution really to take the story to that next level and done it the real justice that an idea like that deserves.
I think they should have stuck with the Desmond character. I think killing him off has really thrown that side of the story out the window. It's all a bit weird because it's like the protagonist died and now you're kind of these randoms who don't really matter. They don't really... it's just a bit weird. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think regardless of that, the game's really good. It's the best Assassin's Creed game I've probably ever played. And it is taking nods from Breath of the Wild. It is taking nods from The Witcher 3 in terms of story. It's above mediocre, which is very good for Assassin's Creed games.
It's above mediocre.
It's the best game I played in 6 months.
Right. Okay.
And that's a good thing because like at the beginning of the year you had some of the best games that come out in 10 years. You had Breath of the Wild, Persona 5, Horizon Zero Dawn was pretty good. I like it, but not as much as other people. I still think it's very good. And what else do you have? You had Yakuza 0, which was pretty cool if you like your Japanese crazy shit. It was amazing. The first 3 or 4 months of the year were wonderful for games. And then it all went...
It's all about the Japanese RPG then, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Japanese coming back with it.
At the same time.
I mean, to see a game like Persona 5 do really well, and for it to be that good, I mean, I haven't played a JRPG that good since, like, the sort of Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, and 10, probably. It really is quite good.
It's awesome fun. I mean, how many hours did we play it for straight?
We played like all night, didn't we? I need to we need to carry that on because I haven't played since. So
I was going to ask if you played any more since because I'd be dying to.
It was more fun playing with another person. I found it was good.
Yeah, definitely. I do love the whole co-piloting a game where you take it in turns with a controller.
It is a lot more fun. I think Persona 5 especially is great because it's so story based as well. Like you're getting so much story at all times. I don't have much more to say on Assassin's Creed, really. I mean, it's incredibly good compared to what else has been coming out, and it's a long game. The story is interesting, if completely off the wall and a bit odd, which I kind of liked. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's fine. Yeah, I think they pushed the boat out on it. Seriously, did push the boat on it. It's absolutely fucking massive. But that's Assassin's Creed.
At some point.
You what?
I do want to play Assassin's Creed at some point.
Yeah, I'll bring it over sometime. It's really good. You know.
Over so I can have a go. Now, I've also only recently, so it's more of a first impressions rather than a review. Started playing XCOM 2: War of the Chosen. And I'll state straight off, like the XCOM series, back from like UFO Enemy Unknown, like the first one, and then Terror from the Deep, all the way through to when they've rebooted the franchise. Absolutely love XCOM. Always been a
It
massive.
is great.
And XCOM 2 was just superb, and I thought it did everything right for to be a sequel to XCOM, and they've done an awesome job.
It was a lot better, actually, wasn't it, as well? I mean, the first one was pretty good, of the new ones, but it was even better.
But XCOM 2, War of the Chosen, as I say, I've only really broke the surface with this one. It's the tip of the iceberg. This add-on feels absolutely massive. So much more going on.
How does it function? Do you basically start the game off from the beginning, but with the expansion working?
Yeah, right from the beginning. When you actually pick the game, you either pick XCOM 2 or XCOM 2 War of the Chosen.
And what's so good about it? What's new?
Right, well, there are 3 new factions that are on your side. Now, I've only encountered 2 of them so far. As I say, I've only just started. And they've actually woven these new factions into the story.
Right.
So the fact when, like, you go and get the commander in the tutorial mission and stuff, they have woven in these elements of the new factions into the story. But just starting off, each of these 3 new factions give you different abilities, and they have their own strengths and weaknesses. But before you get to any of that, they've changed the way some of the basic mechanics work. Oh. So you will now, whenever you send a soldier out on a mission, even if they don't get wounded or anything by the enemy, their will starts to go down. So it's like an energy bar.
Oh.
So you couldn't just have this one elite squad that you send into mission after mission after mission, because they'll all end up fatigued and they'd need to rest.
With like post-traumatic stress disorder?
Yeah, stuff like that. It gets to a point where, right, you can't actually send that person out anymore because they need a few days downtime.
God.
To recoup their rest. Also, when you send different people out on missions, there's now a new mechanic where they form bonds with each other and how much they like working with the other person. And once it reaches a certain level, you can say, yes, those 2 people, I want to form this bond, and then they get bonuses for being sent on missions together. And then I think you can put them through the training center to give them more abilities that affect just the people in the bond.
Reminds me of this is totally off topic in a way, but it reminds me of, have you ever heard of Pandemic Legacy?
Yes, I've heard of Pandemic, and I've heard of Legacy board games, which are just awesome. Legacy is amazing.
Well, in Pandemic Legacy, you over time you can actually make characters that you have from game to game, like have relationships and stuff, and they bounce off each other and can help each other out a bit more, like when you're playing the game. So it reminds me a bit of that.
As I say, the whole scope of the game, it just feels bigger. Also, I've noticed popping up as like an information thing when I've been doing certain menus, like shooting an enemy from height or from cover when they're concealed or flanking. It said, oh, that so-and-so has gained 1 ability point. Not found out where to use the ability points yet, but it may be something to do with this bond system.
How much have you played?
I've not even got any satellite stuff up. I've got to what's really, I guess, the first new kind of story mission where you're trying to get 2 of the factions to meet and talk to one another, because of course none of the factions like each other. But it's awesome. It was a really long mission. It did take a long time to play, a lot longer than your standard missions. It had like a few different parts of the mission, and you sent 2 teams of 2 people to escort one each of these opposing factions, and you got to control the faction person. But the idea was you keep them alive, and all the time you're up against a new type of enemy called the Lost.
Oh.
That are basically these like mutated alien zombie things that just appear on the screen in massive hordes, and it gets quite overwhelming if you get loads and loads of them all on screen at one time. But
it's like the Zerg from Star Trek or Starcraft or something.
Yeah, everyone you manage to kill though gives you like an additional shot, or well, an additional action. You get a free
you like snowball off them, like domino effective.
Yeah. So if you kill one, you get a free action, so you can then kill the next. And really, the only limiting factor then is the ammo in your gun. But if you're planning to kill 3 or 4 of them and you miss, you're like, oh no, that's knackered your whole strategy, and suddenly you're surrounded by 6 of them.
Can't you get a I heard rumor that you can get some aliens on your side as well that join up, some good aliens.
Yeah, well, there's a faction called the Reapers who I've met, which looks human, and they're all very shadowy. They can just hide in the shadows, and they can even attack from the shadows, and there's only a percentage chance that they might be detected.
Ooh.
So they could remain in shadows. Of course, the first time I used that character and shot, blatantly discovered straight away.
That's to be expected.
Of course. And then the other team who I met that you were meeting up there, like deserters from Advent. So they've had all the Advent genetic mutations, so they're human-alien hybrids.
God.
But they've got this whole, we are free from the oppression of our alien masters, and now we're going to fight and kill and free as many of our brothers as we can. And
it's like everyone. It's like how everyone's felt with EA backing down on microtransactions, basically.
Yeah. By freedom,
we have won the battle.
It's awesome fun.
Things with EA, we've only won the battle, we've not won the war. But
yeah, no, it does feel very like
bittersweet.
It's very Empire Strikes Back, isn't it?
It is. Just need some Ewoks and it'll all be good. That's what we need.
But yeah, War of the Chosen, definitely worth the money so far. And as I say, I've barely scratched the surface, and already there seems like so much more content. Even a boss fight at the end of that mission by something that's just a complete pain in the arse.
God.
Dodgy assassin alien. It's awful. Completely awful.
What about what's happening on Xbox? Not that Xbox, the other Xbox. Xbox Live.
I think it was something like Trackmania for the start of the month.
That sounds average.
Yeah, I wasn't gripped with that. And 360 was Nights into Dreams.
I never played that. I've always looked at it. It's always etched into my memory. Is it Japanese, Japanese RPG or something?
Well, it's by the Sonic team, and it's this jester thing that flies around through rings. I've got to admit, I tried playing the first level and it made no fucking sense, and I turned it off.
Fun times. Anything else coming up?
Fun times, yeah. So that was well gripping. Then there was from the 16th. There's Tales of the Borderlands, which is the Telltale Games Borderlands story. All 5 chapters, free of charge.
Any good? You played it?
No, I've not even looked at it. I've just downloaded it. I'll look at it.
The thing is, I didn't really like Borderlands that much. I didn't really feel it had a story, so why would you want to make a story of the game with no story and kind of a shit world?
I love Borderlands.
Really?
Fun, yeah. Get your mates playing that. It's wicked fun.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I can see the allure. It's just a bit. Where's the story? Where's the
It's just a
hopes and
silly
dreams?
story, though. It's not serious at all. It's total nonsense.
I'm a
It's brilliant.
serious man. That's why I like the new Star
That's
Trek.
it's just too nonsense for you. And I don't know what I can't remember what the other Xbox 360 game is. Must be one I wasn't that gripped with.
Yeah, I think PS Plus is similar. Let's have a look what we got on PS Plus. Fuck, I didn't even write it down. Was that interesting?
That gripped.
Fuck, I didn't. I thought I was meant to write it down. Oh, here we go.
Deadfall. Deadfall Adventures is the other 360 game.
Oh, was that fun?
I've downloaded it, but I've not played it yet.
Well, what we have for PlayStation Plus, so they have Worms Battlegrounds, which is probably quite a lot of fun.
That's impressive. What's that on PS4?
Yeah, I mean Worms is always good. A lot of fun with friends.
Yeah.
And we like Team 17 here, to be fair.
Yeah.
No bias or anything. We did get to see them, to be fair, so we probably are incredibly biased. Thanks to Mr. Ferg, who will hopefully return at some point. He's going to come back, I think.
I think he will soon. He's just getting settled in again, back with access to his computer, and then hopefully he'll rejoin us.
Yeah, so we might have a Ferg back. It's a shame he's not been around to bitch about EA, because I think that would be one instance where we agree and we just both sound off. Although it'd probably be really boring to listen to, because it's just literally me and Ferg shouting at the camera, telling everyone not to buy the game. And, like, yeah, it probably wouldn't be. Well, it probably would be quite funny, actually. But
no, it would be funny.
There's also Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which I think is a VR game for PSVR, which I suppose is kind of cool. I have tried PSVR, and I've also tried an Oculus Rift at my friend Nick's house, who's actually in Twitch chat. The PSVR just seems kind of graphically a bit shit compared to the Oculus Rift, from my experience of it.
Well, I guess it's the power of what's running it then, is it?
I think there's that, but I also kind of think with PlayStation VR, I kind of wonder how much there is a point to it if the PlayStation 4 is going to vanish in like 2 years, probably. I don't know. Like, there'll be the PS5 or what. I don't know. I mean, it's true, the Oculus Rift and stuff are probably going to get an update in the next 2 years, like a new model, but you can probably, if you've still got a good computer, you can probably get away with the current gen stuff for quite a while. But anyways, Until Dawn, something called Dungeon
The Oculus has got better resolution, apparently, looking at the chat.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
And there's a whole debate about the Oculus and the HTC Vive, actually. Oculus is a bit cheaper. The Vive tracks more objects, but they're fairly similar, so I've ended up going with the Oculus because it's cheaper.
I'm just going to wait for the Oasis to come out, and then I'll jump in then.
What's the Oasis?
It's from Ready Player One.
Is that a book?
Yeah, a book by Ernest Cline, and it is getting turned into a movie, which will either be all right or absolutely terrible, depending on how much they ruin the book.
So it'll be like either mediocre or fucking awful.
Yeah,
like most book to movies.
Yeah, so far I wasn't that impressed with the trailer. It's like, oh, you're gonna ruin it, aren't you? You're not gonna get all the because it's a massive pop culture thing. All the stuff in the book, and it's awesome. Probably terrible. It looks like Tomb of Horrors got cut.
Yeah, that's actually Nick in the chat, by the way, who I was just mentioning.
Totally wrong.
That's actually Nick in the chat who was just mentioning. I saw Oculus through him.
Right, yeah. Well,
so he may be slightly biased as well about the Oculus, but I think it probably is.
Owning one.
I think if you're going to get a VR headset, you want a good, you want the Oculus Rift or the Vive. and there's different things about either. Like they're both pretty good.
The touch controllers are meant to be pretty awesome, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really cool to use actually, and they came fairly like sometime this year. Before that, the Vive was a bit ahead in terms of like having more it could do because it had its own kind of controllers. But the ones for Oculus Rift are seen as better nowadays.
Yeah.
But the Vive are making some weird gloves or something that you can use, and it's probably going to jump between
gloves. Haptic gloves.
Exactly. But I mean, who knows? They're both pretty good, and they both do the same thing. I think the Oculus is better to sit down and play, and the Vive is better to kind of walk around and pretend you're playing a Wii or something. Right. Sorry, I'm being a bit biased. You can also play like you're playing on a Wii with the Oculus Rift, so don't worry. If you want to do that, you should get an Oculus Rift.
Well, my experience of VR was actually at a place called Arcade Club in Bury, which is totally amazing.
Yeah, we went there for your birthday 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago?
I know. It was totally awesome.
It was mint.
But I played before they had like the downstairs floor, and they just had one set up by a TV screen near the desk. And it was actually a VR model of Arcade Club.
What?
So I put on the VR headset and walked around a VR version of Arcade Club, and I found a Game Boy on the floor, picked it up, and got to play a Game Boy game in VR.
That's amazing.
That for me was totally awesome.
It's like Inception.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
It's the thing I always find weird is like a lot of people I really want to use a VR headset and watch a film in a VR headset, which is, I suppose it's kind of cool, but then it's like, and I suppose the picture quality is better, it's more surround or whatever, but it is quite weird. It's like, I want to watch something within something without watching it. I don't know, it's quite... Nick's just said, the Vive is real good, it's just Oculus probably has the better titles without using third-party software to force them to talk to one another. I don't know if that's changed now, though. Yeah, so there is a couple of things coming up in terms of the Vive and the Rift that are quite interesting. So, like as Nick's saying, the Rift has had better titles. From what I can see, there's a couple of titles coming out soon on Steam that are meant for the Vive, such as Skyrim and Fallout 4 VR, which we still don't know whether they'll work on the Rift. I'm sure there will be a way to play them.
We need another Skyrim game.
I know. Although apparently it is amazing.
Sorry, another version of Skyrim.
I thought that, but then from watching people who've played it, like, and talking to pots like Simon Spindles about it, apparently it's fucking immersive as fuck. Like, it's like actually being in Skyrim. So I don't know. I'm quite tempted to play Skyrim. I don't really care about
How
Fallout,
many times are they going to sell you this game, Steph?
Do you know what? You're right. I've got it on. So I've got it on PC. I got the special edition as well for free on PC, and then I, for some reason, bought the special edition on PS4. And I probably owned Skyrim on the Xbox 360, maybe, or the PlayStation 3. It's like Final Fantasy 7. Do you know how many consoles I've fucking bought that game on?
All of them.
Like the PS1. If there was a version of it on the PS2. I probably had it on there. I definitely had it on the PS3 and the PS4. And I have it on PC. And I have it on my mobile phone.
I was going to say to you...
And I had it on my old mobile phone, my iPhone, that I used to have before I got a Samsung.
That's the way.
Hell. It's a great game, though. It's worth it. Have it on everything. Honestly. Buy it 20 times.
When the remake's coming out.
You are? When is it coming out?
The remake's coming out.
Yeah, but when is it going to happen? Is it actually going to be on this console generation as well? I don't think it is. I think it's going to skip.
You think it's going to be next gen now?
Yeah, it took them 10 years to release Final Fantasy 15? So, and that was shit. So, had no story. I mean, the gameplay was good, but it wasn't. It was The potential of the story was really good as well. That's what upset me about it. It's like the first time in a long time they made a Final Fantasy game. It's like, oh, the characters and the story are kind of cool, and then it was just full of side quests with no story. And the bits of story you see are kind of like, oh, this is really cool, but you have to wait like 5 to 10 hours to get to the next. Oh, I don't know. It's just.
I've not played enough of it then, but what I have played, I enjoyed.
It's a good game, but
anyway, we've digressed. You covered like a PS4 game, a PlayStation VR game.
It's all the other PS games are pretty boring, really.
It's on Vita because I actually own a Vita, so.
Well, on the PS4, there's also Bound, which I don't know what it is, and there's also Dungeon Punks, which is crossplay with Vita.
All right.
What is Dungeon Punks? Let's have a look. I bet it fucking plays a video now.
I hope it doesn't.
Oh no, it's a PlayStation, so it might be right. Dungeon Punks. There's a picture. Looks 2D. You have a sword. You hit stuff. Here we go. Dungeon Punks is a fast-paced action RPG with a unique tag team fighting system and local player versus player brawl mode. I mean, I don't know. It's an indie game.
Yeah.
That's like side scroller.
Oh well.
PS3 R-Type Dimensions. I think that's like a.
Really?
Yeah, that's like a racing game, isn't it? R-Type. That's quite fast. Is it like Wipeout or something?
R-Type's a shoot 'em up.
Oh, is it?
Side scrolling. It's one of the
Another side scroller. Fucking hell. Okay.
shoot 'em ups. But that's dead exciting.
Oh no, yeah, I remember R-Type. That's actually quite cool.
R-Type's the classic.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. Holy shit.
Oh wow.
So that's R-Type Dimensions. That's for free on PS3.
I'm actually going to have to download that.
The cool thing is, on the Vita, you get Broken Sword 5, episodes 1 and 2. And I think there were only 2 episodes to it. I think it's split into 2. So that's kind of cool. Because Broken Sword 5 is great. Yeah, you should get that. Broken Sword's great.
Yeah, Broken Sword's a lot of fun. I've played one of them. Had a goat in it.
Yeah, there's some really weird shit that happens with Broken Sword. But they're like some of the best like point and click games ever. The really cool thing as well that I'm really liking from what I've seen of like VR is that's where the point and clicks are coming back because like it's
in VR
prime for it. Yeah, the guys that made Myst have made a game on there.
I was gonna say Myst.
Yeah, no,
Myst
they've made a game for VR like that's kind of Myst. And there's lots of stuff like they've got all these things called VR experiences, which are like climb up Everest and like look around and like.
All right.
It's kind of cool. The thing I like about VR is it reminds me of when we first started moving from like DOS computers to Windows 95 and 3D platforms, and there's like all the game developers had mad ideas and tried them out, and like they had this wonderful naive view that you could just make any game out of anything and it could be anything, and that's when we had the most inventive stuff ever. And now we live in a time with most computer games where AAA games have got a formula and they just fucking try and shaft you up the bum with fucking loot boxes and microtransactions. So yeah, it's quite exciting with VR because actually a lot of the games seem quite cheap as well. I mean, granted you pay a lot for the headset, but the games seem quite cheap and there seem to be some pretty good ones. So
awesome. Still watch this space. Yeah.
Well, I'll have to get you playing it.
Yeah. When are you getting it? You getting it for Christmas or?
No, because I'm being a bit of an idiot and I'm gonna get a graphics card on finance for a year.
Wow.
And then I'm selling my guitar, and someone's already bid on it, so I'll be getting quite a lot of money from that because it's quite an expensive guitar. So sweet. That'll definitely pay for the VR headset and then some. So it'll be quite good.
So when?
So hypothetically, in 2 weeks.
Nice. 2 weeks then on Friday.
Hell yeah.
Play VR.
Hells yeah.
Right, should we maybe wrap up here now then?
I think so. We were going to think about having a discussion about games as a service, but is there any more to say?
Maybe we'll save that for when Dad can chipping his tuppence worth as well.
Yeah, he's been bloody supporting EA. Well, he hasn't been supporting EA, but he's been playing devil's advocate too much.
So yeah, because we just panned them, so
yeah,
might be interesting.
Dead can be like the bad cop on the show, like
yeah,
the guy that everyone like is like, oh, he's the bad guy. That's what we'll do. Right. Well, I suppose on that note, we will say adieu. So I've been Stef, and you have been
Rammy.
Rammy. Hopefully this went well. We've never done this before, and we don't really know what we're doing, but hopefully it's been all right.
Hopefully the 4 people that have sat through this have enjoyed it.
Are there 4? I think
Yeah.
it's 2 people I know, and then probably you and me.
Yeah, so brilliant.
So it's 2 people. But
Yeah.
we technically count as people, even if we're watching ourselves. We're just incredibly egotistical, I suppose.
We're just hyping the numbers there.
We are, yeah. We're like EA, but worse.
we're
definitely.
like, but worse. Brilliant. Okie dokie.
Right. On that note, on that note, we'll bid you adieu. Arrivederci.
Good night and stuff. Laters.
Bye.